Yeah, I was Tootie.
Yeah, man, it's Freddie J. Big.
This is Super Dogs Podcast.
Two stupid dogs.
Yeah.
Everybody in this bitch, bark. 1, 2, 3.
Roof.
Oh, that was bass.
Listen, it hit off the back over here somewhere.
I did, I
heard
heard
it
that.
off the percussion instruments over
I
here.
think a few of the guitars over there trembled a little bit.
I was like, oh.
How's it going, everybody? How's it going, man? Yo, guys, guess what episode this is?
Uh-huh.
I mean, not to be nasty, but episode 69. Billie Jean. Dior. You already know, but obviously, man, as you can see through the camera right here, we got the awesome, the realest, the mans with the hands, financial advisor, all of that.
Woo.
The man with the banks, the bucks, Mr. War Bucks.
Hey.
Carlos then.
I don't, wait, clap it up for
Clap it up for Carlos
Real
then.
up, real.
Hey, ¿qué pasó?
Listen, man, I remember the first time I met him.
Yeah.
The nigga, like, I think it was at like one of y'all parties or something.
Oh, this
and
is,
wait,
what
you
is
got
this?
wait, what is this?
Let's make it rain in this bitch.
Yo, he handed me.
Let's get it.
He handed me his
Wait, what's
These are my bookmarks.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Yo, back
your
in
bookmarks?
First
Yeah,
of all,
I use them as
back when me
bookmarks.
and Freddie was spending money in the strip club.
Oh yeah,
Let's get it back to it. Let's get it back. Hold up.
I like this right here. But yo,
But no. So I
But
met
go ahead,
him
brother.
and he handed me his I think it was at like Black Sheep or something. And you handed me one of your business cards, and it was like a credit card or some shit.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this nigga real. He was like Millennial Advisor or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit.
Right
like,
here?
The
Yeah.
illest business
I
card
never seen
out,
I
dog.
gotta show you.
The illest business card out, dog.
You didn't even see his book yet. Oh yeah, that's
Fucking
Millennial
fire.
Business and Finance. Y'all see this, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Sherlock, hold that up to the camera so people can see.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna holler at Mr. Carlos then. Right there.
Da, 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 da.
401.
Mama, how I look? Like a financial advisor?
Yeah.
Like a snitch.
you know, it's funny because you know, I came up with this idea to make my business card look like a credit card, and you know, it does look like a credit card.
It's official.
And I always joke around. I tell people, you know, somebody hands you a black card, you know, you're gonna throw it away, and even if people do lose it, somebody picks it up.
Right, because they like, oh shit.
That's actually smart ass
What's
motherfucker.
that meme?
You guys gotta start writing shit down,
That's
like right now.
That's facts. But yo, I'm so glad you're here, brother. I mean, you came to the live podcast and you tore it up.
Oh man, that was so
You
much
was
fun.
back and forth with us. You was live. So like my mission was always to bring you back here, period. You know what
I
I'm saying?
appreciate
But
that.
in the light of everything you're doing right now, brother, like I commend you, I applaud you. Like you're really pushing.
Yes.
And I love to see your success with advising other people with you know what I mean, with investing, and
investing.
real estate and all of that. And it's good to see our fellow brother really hustling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did a bartender gig with you. That was a
Yeah.
great event with you and B.
Me and Brandon. Yeah.
But yeah, man, you I love your mind. I love what you preach. You're not selfish. You know, with your knowledge, which I really, really appreciate. Even if it's just a few pointers, because you do got to feed your family, you got to do what you got to do. So you do charge, and yes, you need to charge, but you're not afraid to give some free pointers or anything like that. And I really appreciate that.
And I mean, the thing is too is like,
Hey, brother, talking to the mic so they can hear all this shit.
so
Even if you gotta take it off the,
you
off the stand.
know, one of the things about you know, actually achieving success is that even when I do give out the gems to people, a lot of people don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
So you got to take action, you know, more than anything. So, you know, one of the things I recommend, you know, if you're having any, you know, issues, I can give you all the information in the world. But if you don't do anything with it, you're not going to go anywhere.
It's like literally with anybody with advice. You know what I mean? Like relationship advice, all that. People will listen to it and never do it.
And never do
But
anything.
you know, one thing I do say though, don't shy away from it though.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's either eventually they're gonna do it or somebody else is listening that could use that advice.
Exactly.
That's in the same room. You know what I'm saying? So never like shy away just because somebody's not taking it. You can say it 100 times and then you be like, hey, I'll tell you again. But if you ain't gonna do it, that's on you. But somebody, it's eventually gonna stick. You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes people just need to hear it from somebody else. So,
after the time, people already know what to do.
Real shit. that is real. Like on some real shit. Like I've been witnessing that and seeing that lately, where like you tell your friend something and then somebody tells them the same exact thing and it clicks better.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they probably trust that person more.
Yeah, or not even so much as trust. It's that you guys have too much of a relationship.
Exactly.
And that they need to hear it from somebody that doesn't have so much stake in their life. Because it seems like new information. Or, you know what it is?
Or they'd be like, yo, my boy said that too.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you know what? If you hear it more than twice, like I said, it will stick. Like,
It'll stick.
Or some of their negative thoughts about you, you could tell them some real shit if they have like a negative thought about you because they know you for so long.
Touche, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they hear it from somebody else that they have a clean slate with.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, maybe that is right.
Yeah.
Or if they've known you before you started doing something, and then like like people getting into the real estate game. Now they're realtors, and are you gonna trust your friend to do your gig? Yeah, you might, but some people would rather go to somebody they don't know. Yeah. And it sucks because
I know what you were doing 2 summers ago.
Yep. You was out here.
You was robbing motherfuckers.
You was bringing into houses. Now you want to be all legit now.
Exactly.
Nah, bro.
Yeah. So that happens.
Hey, everybody turns a leaf, man. But before we get into all the goodies with Mr. Den, I really want to talk about your journey from to the doctor smack your ass to right here. Like, how did you get here?
Nelly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how
yeah.
did you become a millennial
business and finance coach?
Sir.
Because
you started in boxing.
Yeah.
From what I heard. I mean, I seen a video. You got that's like in your hands.
So, I mean, really, my journey started, and you can check out my book, Learn, Drop the L, and Earn.
Gems.
That particular book kind of tells my story. But I'll give you a quick rundown on where it started. I was born on March 10th, 1991.
Woo,
so
just had his birthday.
Oh, well, just coming up. Coming up. March 10th. It's the 8th, baby. It's the 8th.
It's the 8th?
It's the 8th. Well, we
are all wrong.
Nah, we on leap year, so...
Oh...
Remember.
Sorry.
So, I went to the University of Rhode Island, but before I went to the University of Rhode Island, I went to Cranston East. And one of the things that, I started doing when I went ahead and kind of just started getting involved in kind of entrepreneurial things was in high school. Right. And, I had gone ahead and I decided I wanted to do something, but I didn't want to do the typical thing as far as sports where, I played baseball or football or basketball. I decided to join a boxing gym, which is 401 Boxing. My trainer, Jose, I started like at 13 years old. And that for me was pretty life-changing. I didn't really have a fatherly role in my life. So I got a lot of discipline from that. I would go to the gym every day except Saturday and Sunday. Only weekends I wouldn't go.
So you can thought. I know.
And then, and I went ahead and, I've trained every day from like about 4 to 6 p.m.
Wow.
And after that, I would go home and do my homework.
Love that.
And being able to do that, really got me into this time blocking structure type of thing. Now I have to admit, once I got to college, that kind of faded away a little bit. I gained a few pounds, all that good stuff, partying. I didn't start drinking until I was about 21, so I did wait to do a lot of the crazy partying.
You did it right.
But I messed up because I didn't know how to drink. So literally, like I'd have to. I had to admit, so drinking early probably is a good thing as long as you do it.
Moderation.
That's not a recommendation from me to drink.
If you do it early, by the time you're older, that shit's boring to you. Man. And you can just live a boring life.
That's true, but I mean, you don't want to live a boring life. But yeah, I mean, nonetheless, I went ahead and like really when my entrepreneurial like spirit really blew up was in college. At that point, I had already knew how to do my taxes. Like I really like things like that really interested me. And I was studying engineering at the time. I was in civil engineering. Wow. And I went on like one of those job shadowing things and was like, no way. So I switched my major to economics and a minor in international relations. And while I was doing that, I really fell in love with economics and like finances and the market. I had a professor who like, spoke about these particular things and, he was showing me like his success. Right. And I was like, whoa, like this is crazy.
My micro teacher was like, he's very well invested, very paid. And honestly, just listening to him talk and giving those gems, I'm like, damn, like macro and micro is really like, it's very interesting.
I mean, you could apply it to everyday life.
That's
To everything.
why I catered to
So I went ahead and I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do something. So, you know, I was going ahead and doing my taxes in my room, and my roommate tells me, "Hey, can you do my taxes for me? I'll pay you." And I was like,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah.
Like, come on, everybody in school at the time only needed like a basic 1040
like
easy.
Like
you know what I mean?
$20,000 a year.
Like literally, I just input their information and it was done.
That's it. And
Boom,
you get
$50. So I was like, okay. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna blow this up. I started my first LLC at that point, which was Now Then Financial.
Wow.
And
how old were you then?
I was 18.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I was 18, and that year I fucking made so much money.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can cuss.
Shit, goddamn, motherfucker.
Goddamn 47, motherfucker.
I know you just left church and all. But
Yeah,
you good
true.
over here. You in hell.
But you and her. So I went ahead and I started this business, and I had this super bright idea to go into the library, and I set up my homepage, my website, and I even started after I made so much money, I even developed an app.
Oh shit.
Wow.
Yeah, so I spent some money. I spent like $10K on the app, and I mean, you can imagine how much I
Before
made.
It was easy to build apps and shit.
Yeah. This was before it was easy, and it was on Android and Apple, so it was like on all platforms.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and I had this great idea to go ahead and put my homepage on the computer screens in the library, on every single computer.
Wow.
So I went ahead and did that.
Soldier boy.
Oh no, I got there early. Boom, homepage. Boom, homepage. Boom, homepage. I changed every computer in the library to my homepage.
You're not supposed to do that.
Nope,
but
I got in trouble.
Yeah,
I got in
what I'm
trouble.
saying.
My dean definitely called me over to the office and was like, "Carlos, I love what you're doing, but you need to like."
But look at your mind though. You're going against all like it's one of the things that my homeboy Fidel always said. Never ask permission, ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
And I was like, so by the time your dean got to you, like probably like,
Oh, bro.
So fuck that.
I had so many people calling me,
Exactly. You already
emails
did your
like
job. You already did it. Okay, I'll
it was
take it down
crazy.
now. Already like 50 people already saw it.
So it was great. I did have to go in and change all of the computers back. And since then they've made it so that you can no longer change the homepage
Because of you. Gotcha.
on the computers. So they definitely put that in place. But it was awesome. I got some, I even, got a job opportunity because of it, because somebody found out about it. So next thing you know, I have a year doing this business, and I went ahead and was like, okay, now I got to make a decision, because somebody came up to me and approached me with a corporate job, but they told me, you can't do taxes because it's a conflict of interest. You're going to be working in a financial institution. So I had to make a decision. I decided to take a step back. I shut down the LLC, and I decided to learn, about, the things that I didn't know about the financial industry, like credit cards and how they work, why they give you, why they charge interest rates, and how other companies make money off of credit cards. And just like the nicks and knacks of things that people don't usually see and know.
Experience in the field. You know what I mean? We get the college, you get the education, but when you get in the field, it's that experience that is key. And you're getting it at an early age.
Yep. Yeah. So I went ahead and, I got recruited by Merrill Edge, which is a brokerage affiliate of Bank of America. And I love BOA. Bank of America is a great place to work. It just wasn't long term for me.
Yeah.
Oh, works there. I mean, they're cool.
Yeah, they're cool. It's just, it's a
bank.
Especially like call centers, for example, they're puppy mills. The people go in and out. They have a very low retention rate, and it's just the truth of the world.
Yep.
But you can learn a lot of things while there. And me, I always say, if you're not learning anything else and you're not earning anything else, then it's time to move on. So I finally got to that point where, I wasn't learning anything else. I wasn't earning anything more. And I just decided that it was time to take my own journey. I had some money saved up, took a nice vacation, went to Colombia, spent some money, had a good time. And then I really focused on what I needed to do. For a little bit when I got back, it's ironic, I went ahead and picked up a card of one of my clients, and that owns a nonprofit. Well, not owns a nonprofit, but he's the executive director of a nonprofit. And as soon as I picked up the card, I get a phone call from this guy. And I'm like, if that is not a godsend, I don't know what the hell that is. Yeah. So I pick up the call, and he's like, hey, I noticed you were not at the bank anymore. Are you looking for work? I got a position as a financial director. It's interim until we find somebody to fill it, but you could, I know I know that's not your field. You're not doing that right now, but it's something that if you want to give it a shot, we can give you that opportunity. I was like, yeah.
Guaranteed to learn something right then and there.
Exactly. So I learned a whole lot about like nonprofits and, especially like what they have to do when going through like taxes and things like that and audits. And there is so much. Like this particular nonprofit, gets over $1 million in funding every year. So, it's an amazing asset and amount of financial responsibility that was placed in my hands, and I did pretty well in it, which I appreciate the opportunity to having learned from one of my mentors that was there as well. And
real quick, would you say working for nonprofit is like almost better for your spirit than working for a profit company, just because of the simple fact that they're, you know what I mean,
they have a mission.
You have a mission, and they're not keeping the money. It's not about profit for them. You know what I mean? You're there. The goal is for a certain reason, and it's all about that. Like when I worked I'm not gonna say the name, but I worked for a school, after school, whatever thing, and it almost felt enlightening working for them because it wasn't about the money. It was about the children. It's about getting them better programs and the whole nine. Did you?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I
definitely agree with that. We did a lot of good for a lot of people. And I was responsible for a lot of where the money went. Yeah. So I was able to kind of play that card and help people that really needed it.
Gotcha. So after that, what happened?
So that's when I decided I had more time on my hands because I was working for a nonprofit, getting paid a salary, and not having to worry really much about time, for instance. And me, I'm all about systems. So here I was able to implement a lot more systems that saved me a lot more time.
Okay, so when you say systems, what do you mean by that?
Making things a lot easier for myself.
Gotcha.
So, for example, like they had a lot of things, and the organization's been around for a long time. So they had a lot of things in place that were very outdated. So, I went ahead and, I came up with processes and procedures to go ahead and make things a lot simpler and easier and, more effective. So something that would have taken somebody else 6 hours to do, I got done in an hour. So when I had that so much time available to myself, not only did I decide to self-educate myself in a lot of ways, but I also decided to, really blow up my brand, which is the Millennial Business and Finance Coach.
Gotcha.
In doing so, I have to admit, it didn't pick up right away. I've had the same profile picture for about 3 years now. But there's a reason for that. It's all about branding.
Yes, sir.
And in doing so, and especially once you start building these accolades for yourself and being edified by people like you, of course, you edified the crap out of me when I first got here, and I appreciate that.
Of course.
That goes ahead and it exemplifies you and makes you better known to people that didn't know you.
Absolutely.
And, writing the book was, something that I accomplished during that time. I had more time, so I was able to, really work on that and kind of tell my story, as well as, speak about some of the other ways that I was making money. Because I found that a lot of millennials nowadays always have a side hustle.
I feel like in this light, in this generation now, you need it. Like, if you don't have a main job and 2 or 3 hustles, you're broke. You know what I'm saying? Like like the way everything is set up now, you need hustles. Like you gotta be doing more than one thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what's able to generate much more income. If you're just focused on one, it's just not enough nowadays. You know what I mean?
I agree. So I was able to go ahead and go ahead and start kind of explaining some of the things that I was doing for extra income. So like I had like a store set up. That was an e-commerce store, and I still have it set up to this day.
Yeah.
Now, when I first started, it's pretty good money. Like me at first, I was doing the wrong thing though. I was trying to promote to people here, and I found that I didn't have much success in doing so. It was just not the nature of the beast.
401, man.
But I went ahead and then I realized that I could market to other places because this isn't a physical location.
Sir.
And in doing so, I have people from California ordering, I have people from Washington State ordering, and that's stuff that it's funny because I check my account and I'm like, oh, I got an order in. And I have it set up so that it's completely automated. So like I literally don't have to do anything. Yeah. But it's good to see that extra little bit of revenue. And then like my books, royalties come in. Boom. Next thing you know, boom. One of the main main ways that I make money now is through options trading. In one day alone, I made $37,000.
Man, listen here. This is why we brought this nigga here. All right, I'm just trying to get $700.
My brother made $700 the other day.
Hey, see,
so I mean, literally, like, I went ahead and in growing my brand, I set up like this, kind of like this group of what I call my close friends.
Yes.
You know how like Instagram has like that went ahead, and I was like, I gotta take advantage of this close friends thing. And I literally just like saw somebody else doing it and was like, yeah, I can do this, but I think I can do it better. And it's almost like, how you might think of, what do they call those, the Snapchat premiums and that stuff.
Yeah.
But, it's more of a knowledge-based thing.
It's to help you out, man. You're not going to
exactly.
Snapchat premiums, all you women, stop it, all right?
I mean, I don't knock the hustle. I don't knock the hustle.
Come on.
Porn has been free for a while now, which I don't get. But some guys just want to go ahead and pay for things. That connection.
Yeah, that personal feel. Like, I know you. Like, you know what I mean? But go ahead.
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went ahead and did that. And, me, since, I do like to think that, I do have a wealth of knowledge that I can share with people. I set it up into a few different ways where, I talk about finances, I talk about credit, I talk about taxes. And it's all things that people can not only see on my story through the highlights, but also like a community that I've built. Now we're up to like, I think like 27 people.
Wow. I got 28 right here. I'll be there soon.
And it's really cool because, I'm able to not only like help these people, but, I'm also giving them like really solid gems. So like today, for instance, one of the things that I told, my close friends, and I'll share it with you guys because I consider you my close friends, is one thing you should do is you should write an oath for yourself.
Oh, I seen your oath thing.
Yep.
Okay.
So you saw my oath. And that is something that's really powerful when it comes to allowing yourself. It's almost like a promise you're making between yourself and, let's say, for example, God.
It's like writing goals, but it's an actual oath. So it's like it's much stronger.
Something to always
go back to.
Go back to.
Well, something you have to hold on to. Like when you think about it, the police have to swear an oath. The president has to swear an oath.
Yes, sir.
If you join the military, you have to swear an oath. And the oath is supposed to hold you at the highest caliber of that particular position.
I like that.
So when you create an oath for yourself, it's something that, really drives you to succeed.
Yes.
Another thing I told them to do was like, hey, go ahead and today write yourself a letter 10 years in the future. And in doing so, don't write yourself a letter like telling yourself what you need to do. But instead, write yourself a letter congratulating yourself for the things you did within those 10 years.
Respect.
So go ahead and, take a few moments to, say, hey, Carlos, I'm really proud of you for, having going ahead and helped 30 people, achieve financial freedom.
Yeah.
Going ahead and really earning, this much trust from that many people and being able to take them to higher levels of success. Like really get deep and detailed with like the things that you want to accomplish and then seal it up and open it in 10 years.
I have a question.
I like that. Respect.
I have a statement in your question. I think one of the things like I was like I really didn't start how can I explain it, diving into being financially free or understanding financials in general, right? Your finances until I was probably like 23. Like I am a kid from the hood.
In most cases, yeah.
Like I'm 18. I didn't even know I can go to college at 17.
Yeah.
That's how bad I was stuck in the
A lot of
hood
people don't know
mentality
that,
and shit,
though.
right?
Yeah.
And I always see my mom. She always say I robbed Peter to pay Paul. You know what I'm saying? And a single mother taking care of like she had 4 kids but took care of 10.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just natural to to go out there and grind for shit, but not really put your money where it needs to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't start understanding things until I how can I say it? Took myself away from the people that I was around.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like I got to talk to Jack and people like it was literally, and this is fucked up to say, I had to talk to white people to get information that people of my own skin color couldn't give me.
That's the
what do you
problem.
think the biggest divide of people our age is about about getting that information versus, you know what I'm saying, and why do you think that it's not that common to have it in our space as people of color?
Well, I like to think of information as keys. That's why my logo, Mr. Then Millennial Business and Finance Coach, it has a key on it. And, you know, if you have more keys, you can open more doors and things of that nature. And those doors are opportunities. You know, if you're able to go ahead and gather this information from whoever it might be, regardless of skin color, it's important to do so. Unfortunately, you know, as minorities, it's not like somebody just goes up to you and hands you a key.
Yep.
You know, you have to go. You need to go searching for these keys.
It seems like what's taught to like kind of like if you got the information, harbor it and not give it.
Well, a lot of people are greedy, with the information that they have, especially people that come from nothing for the most part.
Right. And I also feel like it's the way like us kind of grew up. Like what do we know? You know what I'm saying? When you get a little bit of money, when you get your tax money, ball out. Go buy a car, get flashy. It's like in our community we're kind of taught, not really like straight up.
We're
but
consumers.
Like, yes, that it's look rich, don't be rich. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's better to look it than not be it. Whereas you know, you get the person growing up in a family with both their parents, and both their parents work, and they save their money, and they got a trust fund set up. This is what they know, so they grew up learning that. We ain't learned that. I ain't get no trust fund. You ain't get no trust fund. We know, like, you get that little money, put it back in the streets, or ball out a little bit just to make yourself feel better. You know what I'm saying? Because we all have that anxiety in the streets and feeling that we're not going to make it to that age we want. So might as well just enjoy that money while we can. That's what we kind of grew up in that community.
Well, I mean, I always say this, and, you know, it's so true because, you know, none of us are promised a long or a healthy life. And it is important to, you know, go out and have fun and do the things that you want to do in life. I've done a lot of things that I consider fun. Colombia was a lot of fun. But, you know, like, one of the things that, you know, I always suggest is, like, you have to go ahead and the things that I consider to be, I guess, vices.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay.
And things that, you know, are things that, you know, you spend, and luxuries.
Yeah.
You have to go ahead and you have to pay with these luxuries with assets. Not with, you know, debt. You know, not going ahead and, you know, getting your credit card and spending $3,000 on this much clothes, and then now having to pay the minimum, not even like paying it off, paying the minimum on this each month just because, you know, you got one outfit to look nice. Exactly. It's not worth it.
And it's definitely not worth it. And I also feel like we're so caught up of getting the newest shit. Like, I will contest to this right now. Like, I mean, when I bought my car, you know, it's a Lexus. It's not the nicest Lexus, but I bought that with my own money, and I needed something that I can rely on. But people right now, to this day, I have an 07 Lexus. People are like, yo, man, you've been driving that car forever. Get something new.
I'm like,
well, I'm like, why?
They're so concerned.
I'm like, why? Like, my car runs fine. It still looks good. I hook it up and buy little things for it, tweak it up to keep the life of it. Like, we're so concerned about the newest shit and the hottest shit, making this shit look like, nah, my Lexus is just fine. And it's even though it's a 07. Like, and that's why, like, I looked at, like, 50 Cent when he was rashing French Montana about having an 08 Bugatti. I'm like, so?
He got a Bugatti.
It's
a $1 million car.
Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's our community. That's what we were raised in.
You know what's crazy about it, too, is, like, we're so raised to look at what's next to us and, like, see, like, all right, like, you go crazy trying to make yourself, how can I say it, match with the people around you. Like, you
it's a competition.
It's a competition. It's not a competition. Everybody starts somewhere. Like, it's crazy because I be telling motherfuckers, like, the motherfuckers look at me and they'll be like, oh, why don't you have this? Or they might say, why don't you have that? dude, if you knew where the fuck I started from, you'd be like, yo, you came far as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't know your story.
You don't know a person's story. Like, and some people are quick, and you are quick to try to judge. Oh, that person's there. Why am I not there? Or you know what I'm saying? Yeah, sometimes it might be your lack of initiative, or you know what I'm saying. But you still gotta appreciate where you came from, and how far you already came. And understand that you still need more keys to be more successful.
That's that
to
oath.
Understand he might know something that you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So like even so much like, dude, when I first bought my first car, who did I come to? I knew Freddie had bought a car. He had been working at our job 5 years before I have, so he had some more knowledge than I have. So I came and I just picked his brain and like viciously picked his brain. I know he used to get fucking annoyed.
Not at all.
I used to be like, yo, Freddie, like, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? How'd you do that? And he's not like, I look at Freddie like an older brother. He's only a year older than me. You know what I'm saying?
But he had more information.
Yeah, he had more information than me.
I've been at my job for a while.
And I don't even know anybody that went and put money. Like, I didn't know anybody that went and put money on a car. All my uncles are drug dealers.
Yeah.
That money on that car, this shit's cash, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So
they don't know how to finance a car.
My mom always bought cars. Like, she never went to a deal. I never seen her go to a dealership.
Right. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is that, I mean, for me, I understood credit and understood like savings and that early too, and that was just because of like, kind of what you contested to is that I had to go and learn that on my own. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of help, exactly, a little bit from my sister, but I started peeping people around me, and that's why you always say it's like, yo, be careful who you have around you because they're gonna be your influence. Yeah. So like as my brothers were drug dealers, I was like, I'm not chilling with them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I would chill with my sisters who were a lot older, and I seen their struggles, and they started their credit at 25, 26, and all
that. They were doing the right things.
Exactly. And I was 18 getting that. So I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to start my credit now. And what's the first thing I had to do was put my own money into a credit card so I can do it. So I started my credit at 18.
A secured credit card.
Yeah, a secured credit. Exactly. So it's all about the people you have around you. And I knew at an early age, money wasn't really big for me. You know what I'm saying? Granted, now I really don't like being broke. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't that important to me. I just wanted to just have that freedom and just understand it. So like at 12, like I had $5K. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I gave it to my sister. My only issue is my advice is that I like to help people more than I like to help myself.
Exactly.
And that's where I fail at. And another thing is being more of a risk taker, but we can get into that later.
I mean, you have a giver's mindset is what it sounds like. So I personally have a giver's mindset as well. And the only thing is that, you know, when you're giving so much, you do have to realize, you know,
take care of your home
to take care of yourself as first. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, one of the things that a lot of rich people discuss at their dinner tables are finances.
Yes, sir.
Whereas, you know, that doesn't really happen in unfortunately, minority homes.
You
know, you're talking about things that, you know, fake news and this, that, and the third at the dinner table instead of talking about the things that are important. Like, hey, did you know, set up an IRA? Did you go ahead and, you know, set up, you know, an educational fund for your child? That's fine. It's died. Right. But I mean, that's just, you know, the truth of the world. And, you know, I feel like people need to go ahead and, you know, take more effort to, you know, learn in order so that they can share that information with more of, you know, people of color and, you know, really take that drive to succeed.
I think one of the biggest things I learned was assets and liabilities.
Yeah.
And when you start looking at people as assets and liabilities, and like when you learn that, and then you start looking at people like that, and it's like, yo, I need to get this fucking person away from me.
Yeah.
Like, everything that they say is negative, is draining. You are not an asset to me. I changed my whole circle around because of that. You know what I'm saying?
You have to.
Like, and once I learned that, and I started realizing somewhat of like, just thinking about it, it's like, dude, like, these motherfuckers is not adding to anything. They don't even
no
like
value.
They don't even like the same things that I like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can't. There's no way we could remain friends.
And there was another thing I wanted to point out. You put on your Facebook a couple of months ago, and I thought it was a really good question. You tagged me in it, and it was the question where you were saying, "What's more important learning at a young age?" And you asked investing. Should it be investing, saving, taxes, and a couple of other things?
Yeah.
And it brought up some really good debates, and I thought it was very interesting. And for me, I think from what I remember, I think I put savings is important. Saving first, especially fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
Tax is important, and something else. But some people said budgeting. Yes, budgeting was important because what helped me get out the hole. So I've been living on my own since I was about 16 years old.
Wow.
So what helped me get out the hole of, obviously my job, I had no choice. I had to work full time. But what helped me was budgeting because I was like, I had to budget or else
you wouldn't be able to eat or survive or
do anything. So budgeting was very important. I always knew how to save because money just wasn't important to me at a young age. Like my mom would give me an allowance and I was
just put it away.
Put it away. My little brother would run to the corner store, get chips, candy, whatever. I just eat his. Like, like I'm older, you know what I'm saying? But my money was stashed. And that's how I was able to save up 5, 6, 7K at an early age at 12, 13 years old.
Take advantage of the free.
Exactly. The only thing I didn't know too much about was taxes and stuff like that right at high school. And I feel like that's important because even in high school, you need to get that like early because you can get raped quick. You know what I'm saying? Investing, I feel like investing, all that can come after. You know what I mean? My personal opinion. But those were the 3 things I thought that was important because that's what helped me have financial freedom and have good credit and all of that. But I just wanted to know, you asked the question, but what do you feel like is important to learn like at 18 years old?
So I'm actually developing a course right now. It's called the Generational Wealth Engine. And I think this is going to be life-changing for a lot of people. But essentially, the way it's going to be made up of is it's going to start with mindset. So, having the right mindset is very important to any type of success, whether it be financial, spiritual, whatever it might be. And then once that level has gone ahead and been reached, then you definitely want to go ahead and, you want to learn the basics of control on money. So, how you can go ahead and budget, how you can go ahead and, know what's an asset, know what's a liability.
Right.
Money control is very important because money is a tool.
It is a tool. People put that around, base their whole life around it.
Yeah. So once you know how to use that tool, then you can better use it. And then, once you go ahead and from money control, you want to go into, taxes. Yep. So taxes, once you know how much money you have and what you can do with that money, then you can go ahead and figure out ways to make things benefit you. So, what are deductions? What are credits? Yes. I'm doing this self-employed job. Is having lunch right now an expense? Yes, it is.
It is.
I'm working, so those are things that are important, as far as figuring out so that you have the most advantages in your court. You don't want to go into a fight and have less weapons than the person you're fighting. Yes. Not be well equipped. So once you have those extra tools, then you can go ahead and now you have that control of the money. Now you have the actual, tools that go along with that money. And then you can get into credit, which is allowing you to use other people's money.
Right.
To
never use your own money.
Exactly. So if you can use anybody else's money, even if you have $100,000 in the bank,
don't use yours.
if you can get, and I wrote this in my book, my new book that just came out. It's called I Give You Credit, a do-it-yourself guide to credit repair. And, one of the things I mentioned is, cash is king, but credit is queen. And if you're playing chess, on a chessboard, we're gonna snap it up for that. We're gonna snap it up. On a chessboard, a queen can make a lot more moves on the board than the king can. So going ahead it's important to go ahead and use that queen to your advantage. But the point of the game is to protect your king, which is cash.
Protect your cash.
So you got to protect it at all costs because if you lose that cash, then you lose the game.
Exactly. I love that.
And when you have that, then you can use that money that you have in the bank and invest it.
Absolutely.
And when you can invest that money, you can multiply that money to a substantial amounts.
Right. And I think, and I like how you say that because a lot of people we get, and I'm including myself, we get to a point where you kind of get stuck. And a lot of people, I was reading because right now I'm okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got to the point where I was like, okay, what can I do? Because I'm good at saving. never had a problem with saving. But the problem is that my money is sitting and it's not working for itself. It's not doing anything. So one of the things I was like, okay, do I need a financial advisor? Do I need a financial planner? What's next? And a lot of people in our community are afraid to give somebody else our money to kind of help us. And I'm at the point where I'm like, yo, anything at this point, I need to invest the money so I can get money back. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are kind of scared to kind of go after that and seek more information because their money is everything. We're holding it like it's our baby, and that's just me. You know what I mean? I've always been that way. I'm like, nah. Like I'm saving, but it's not doing anything.
Well, I mean, one of the things I've learned, not only with investing but also with owning businesses is you have to take risks, but you also have to be able to step away. I own a security company.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that.
And one of the things that I've done with that security company is that I've made it so that I don't have to be there all the time. Yeah. I don't have to do everything all the time. I've entrusted people, and I mean, this is something else that people have to learn is the art of delegation. Henry Ford was one of the geniuses in this. And when they tried to sue him, he even mentioned, they asked him, oh, well, you don't know this, that, and the third. And he's like, yeah, but I can press a button and I have the expert in that in a second,
right.
And as long as, you can go ahead and mind you, I mean, I have no experience in the security field. Mm-hmm. I started this as a partner with my friend who did have experience in the security field. And I put that trust in him. Yes, I did invest money into the company. But I also have been able to learn a lot more about security. And it's something that is now flourishing because, to be frank, this city has an issue with security.
Yes. And one of the biggest rules with business is that always try to find, or app building anything, try to find something that makes it convenient for somebody else. What's missing anywhere, whether it's an app, you have to make it convenient, and that's what's going to boom. And you found the missing link, and what it is.
So as an entrepreneur,
working and try to make it work.
You have to be a problem solver. Is really what being an entrepreneur is, and you're finding problems and you're solving them. If you can solve a problem, then you can make money doing that.
Exactly.
Right. People, number one, that's how you make money. Is solving a problem. If you have that skill, you will always.
Mm-hmm. You'll always be in work. You always have something to do.
And also having a unique skill that nobody else has, right. or little to no people have. Right. That's why computers were a big thing.
Right.
Or computers was a big thing because not everybody has access to a computer.
Right.
So you'll be the first person that they call. Right.
Or even if you do have that access and that skill, master it. A lot of people we're jack of all trades. We'll do one thing, but we don't become masters.
Yeah, they say jack of all trades, but master of none.
Yes, and that's a lot of people fail.
But then they also say there's an end to that. They say jack of all trades, but most people just end it at master of none. But master of one, and you're helping none, or something like that. It's like I forget how it finishes, but the thing about being a jack of all trades, it's okay to spread out. A lot of people think I'm doing too much.
I do too much.
But like the thing is like if you really want to be a billionaire, which isn't necessarily my goal, but if you really want to be my ultimate goal is to own a resort. You do have to be a billionaire to
respect.
To do so, but my ultimate goal is to have a resort, retire in the resort, and have a good time.
I love that. Right. Respect.
But like you said, billionaires have their hands in a lot of pools,
right? And
it's for a reason.
Yeah, and then being in school, one of the things they teach is that a lot of a good entrepreneur will put their hands in 10 things. And if 9 things fail, that's fine. You got one thing that succeeded. You got to really touch everything and see what works. You got to not be afraid to
test things.
Test things, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But you did mention your security company. Mm-hmm. So you talked about getting that. I'm starting that with your buddy and everything like that. So let's dive a little bit more into that. So you call it nightlife.
Nightlife security.
So still kind of got that chess feel to it. So
it does actually.
Yeah. And we played chess too.
We did. You whooped my ass that day too.
Cool, man. I wasn't gonna show you all that, but nah. We gotta get.
With respect.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But so you found a need, Rhode Island or however the reach is.
Yeah.
You found there was
Rhode Island, Mass.
Mm-hmm. Rhode Island, Mass. So let's talk about that. Like, how did you go about finding the people for the security? How did your friend approach you about it?
The thing about, the security in general, unfortunately, my friend had actually gotten stabbed by a security
Our boy
guard.
got jumped.
By a security guard.
Shit, no.
At a local bar on Federal Hill.
Yes.
And
Got jumped too, yeah.
thankfully he survived that particular ordeal. But he could have died.
Absolutely.
And one of the scariest things is that the particular place that had this person as a security guard employed did not have any information on this person. Apparently, the person just straight up disappeared.
Wow.
And to this day, that person has not been found.
Wow.
So that caused some concern for me. First off. And just like, the fact that a security guard escalated the situation when they should be there to de-escalate situations really scared me. Then a few days later, not a few days later after that, but like a few days later after we had kind of discussed even doing this, we had gone ahead and gone to a nightclub, and, there's a police detail in the front of the place. And one of the guys who's getting searched by the security guard before he goes in, he's like, "Oh, I got to go put this back in my car. I'll give you a band right now if I could just bring it in." And the guy's like, "Oh, you're going to have to give me more than that." Wow. So, like, mind you, this guy's basically accepting a bribe right in front of a police officer and possibly endangering people's lives.
Right.
Wild.
So that right there, was another, like, really big cause for concern for me. And I was like, oh, my goodness. The final straw was, unfortunately, one of my friends, he recently also got stabbed in a Federal Hill nightclub, and this particular person died. And that's when I said, "Nah, it's unfortunate." But I like to say, rather than died, I'd like to say he elevated, because it's something that I've been kind of using as a word, more to because death has such a negative connotation with it. I like to think that when people do elevate, that they reach a higher level. Energy can't really be destroyed. I really do believe in that, and that they're there on a higher level.
Yes.
So that was kind of like the final straw. I went ahead and I discussed with my my now partner to go ahead and really get this started. I already know about the logistics and the things that need to be done as far as starting a business. So I was like, listen, I'll take care of all of the financials, all the back end stuff that really needs to get done and get licensed and this, that, and the third. We worked on that. We got licensed. We got insured. We did everything that we needed to do, and then we started the company. Getting people to work for it was kind of easy, really. I just put up an ad. And as soon as I put up the ad on Indeed, people were trying to work. It's a independent contractor role,
like that.
So people get paid, no taxes deducted. Since I have the financial background to really help these people, I also let them know of the advantages that they have as far as tax deductions. They're basically employed for themselves. They can work whenever they want. They're not stuck to a particular schedule. We kind of just throw up schedules and people would accept them, and
that freedom.
They have the freedom to kind of to work when they want to work.
I like that. So another question, and I know you said you started a company and a business at an early age, and a lot of people don't know, but Rhode Island is one of the highest of small businesses, and a lot of people don't know if you start a small business, there's a lot of aid, there's a lot of money given to small businesses. So let's talk, if you can, just talk about the process a little bit about it. Is it difficult? Because there's that stigma saying that it is difficult, but the easiest is to be a sole proprietor. Like you can start a business right now, just get an LLC.
Yeah, you just.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people shy away from that because
so there's different types of businesses and different structures. So being a sole proprietor is literally just using your social, and you can do something that's called DBA, which is doing business as, and name the business whatever you want. So for example, you would be using your social, but all that money passes through your taxes. So it's not, a separate entity. If something did happen where you were to get sued, you are liable, unfortunately, for any of the money that you might have to cover whatever lawsuit you get. Insurance is very important. Then when you get into different things, like, for example, like me and my partner have what's called a limited liability partnership, which is similar to a limited liability company. Now, an LLC is something that you can go ahead and start. And, it costs like $150 to register it.
Not that bad.
You do have to pay taxes at the end of the year. But, it's not something that's impossible to do. You actually get a lot of tax benefits for doing it, and it's something that protects you in case something did happen, unfortunately, with your business.
Right. So what do you say to the people that? Oh, sorry, brother. You want to
Oh no, so I'm a photographer, and I was thinking about making my photography a business.
Yes.
What would be the first step that you would do?
What, do you have a camera? Okay. All right. So that's step one.
I'm talking about as far as going forward and like LLC or I don't know.
I mean, you can start it as a sole prop to start off. I mean, there's not a lot of risk. There's not a lot of risk involved with taking people's pictures.
Yeah.
You do, of course, want to set up, like waiver forms. Waiver forms is something that definitely all photographers need, and contracts, because you don't want to use somebody's image or their likeness without their permission, and then have some sort of issue going on there, because they could technically sue you for that.
Yeah. So my question more so is like, do you LLC it, or is it just like you just
There's levels. Yeah. So I don't LLC anything until I know that I'm making money in something.
Okay.
Once you start making money in something, then yes, it makes sense to go ahead and LLC
you
it.
get a tax ID. So
you can get a tax.
Things off.
So you can get a tax ID regardless if you have an LLC or not.
Okay.
You can have a tax ID for your sole proprietorship, and it's just separate from your social. So I mean, really, it's up to you how you want to do it. There's different methods. You can use your social. You cannot use your social. The only thing is that when it's a sole prop, it's really just kind of you, which for your business it would make sense. So I would say start with the sole prop, and then as soon as you start getting a certain amount of money, let's say for example you're making like 10K, something like that a year or more.
Really, what I'm trying to do is write this shit off.
You can still write it off, bro. You are.
Oh, you can't just write shit off just like that.
So having the sole prop, you just do a Schedule C on your tax return, and you do it as a sole proprietorship. Right.
So another thing I wanted to point out, because this is the reason why we brought you here, right? I mean, it's a little late now, but it's okay. But all you motherfuckers that got your tax money already going to the mom and pop, buying a busted ass car that's a lemon, whatever. What is the first thing you would say, right? You got somebody who just got their taxes, got a decent amount, some niggas with kids got like $4 or $5 grand, fuck y'all, 10 grand, whatever. What is the best thing?
10 grand sounds about right.
You know what I'm saying? But what would you say to somebody who's like, instead of buying that car, you already have a car that's fine, you already got your home, you have 10 grand sitting. What do you feel like? Should that person save it? Should that person invest it? What is their first? What is something that you would give somebody who has that? That's just like, all right, well, I got nothing to do, so I'm just gonna go buy a car, or I'm going to just ball out or save it. Like, what do you think that 10K?
I mean, if they're not ready to take on the risks of investing it and going ahead and putting their money to work for them or putting it into the business that they're passionate about, then yes, I do definitely recommend to save it. Gotcha. Because if you can save that money, then you save another 10 grand the next year, one of the easiest things, that's a house. Yes, exactly. Yes, so like if you can buy a house, you can, that can change your life. Especially if it's an income producing house like mine was. If you go ahead and you have a 3-family and you live in one of the units and the other 2 units are paying for your rent and maybe then some, then you now have an income producing asset.
So would you say real estate is probably the best business to get into right now?
Right there.
So real estate is huge. Real estate will always be a good industry to get into. Right now, properties are on high demand.
Fucking seller's market.
It's a seller's market, and houses are being overpriced, is what I would call it. Now the Feds just cut the interest rates too. Yeah, it's like personally, I mean, just with my knowledge of economics and things like that, there might be a bubble that's formed.
Or like how taxes right now. I mean, it's gonna drop. It's gonna be like 2008. People's not gonna be able to afford their homes, and then houses gonna go down so people can buy. And investors, or contractors are waiting for that next bubble. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, it might be a good opportunity if you find the right one.
That's the thing too. I want to get to a point where everything's paid off, everything's right. So when the next wave or something hits, I am in a
you get in on time.
I can jump into it.
Right.
But instead of me always trying to pay shit off and
right. But should you wait? I like when he said that. I'm gonna wait for the next thing to happen to go. Should you wait?
Sometimes the next opportunity might be years from now. You might not be able to jump in. So I always keep a cash pool open to kind of invest in things. And that really is how I do it. Is I set up different jars for different reasons. So you can go ahead and okay, you want to buy yourself a car. Well, you can take $25, a week and put it into this particular jar, and now that's your car jar. And then this is your in case of emergencies jar. You know how many people don't have an in case of emergency jar? You know how many emergencies people go through? Like, your car might have bricks under it tomorrow.
Yeah. You got into an accident. He had no choice. I mean, shit happens.
Listen, man, I was stressed. I hit a coyote hit me.
A coyote
no,
hit
you hit a coyote.
It hit
drive.
me. It hit me. And I was kind of stressed. Thank God. Like I said, Freddie had some place that was like, yo.
Shout out.
I'm not a Mr. Then, you know what I'm saying? But you could come
you
in
motherfuckers is gangster. And I appreciate y'all. What's they called again? Rigo's Auto Body. Go to Rigo's Auto Body if you got insurance.
They ain't giving us money.
No.
No referrals.
They gave me some money.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying.
They hook it up.
They hooked it up. Yeah. So go to Rigo's Auto Body. This is a free shout out to them. If you ever have trouble with your car or some shit, just go talk to them motherfuckers because they blessed the motherfucker. I was stressed and I came out on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, off of that situation.
That's most auto bodies.
You know what I'm saying?
And they made money off you too.
They definitely made money, but I've never been in an accident with my car.
Gotcha.
So I just wasn't informed on
the processes
and you know
what
I mean,
and total loss and this, that, and the third.
And all I know is, dog, I sink too much money into this car. Not sink, but like I paid $235 a month for my damn car that I'm proud of, that I worked so hard to achieve.
Absolutely.
And here comes a fucking animal. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Animal, destroying what I built. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a very trying situation for me. I was really stressed about this situation, and I was missing my car. And I was missing my car because I'm driving this little rinky-dink Honda.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
you beat that shit up? So it was a rental?
Yeah, I'm driving that shit like with mine.
I know. It's like you stole it.
But I said that to say this, though. Like you just... I didn't have $1,000 for my deductible. You know what I'm saying? Just off the whim. Like, I just didn't have that shit.
Yeah, they hooked it up.
And them hooking it up like that helped me. You know what I mean? But I was fucked.
Otherwise, yeah.
And I like how you said that too. And another question I really wanted to ask is, people don't have these accounts and these jars, right?
Yeah.
So growing up, I always had these jars because I had, when I grew up, I had to budget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For just in case, for whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know. And one tactic that I do, and if it helps you and you can contest to it, if it does work or whatever you do, is have multiple accounts. Right, I have one online account that I don't touch, or I can't touch that for easy access. Right, and that's my rain money or emergency money. Boom, boom, and that sits in that account. It comes straight out of my check. I have another account for expenses. I have another account for anything else. So have multiple accounts and also have those different funds. You know what I mean? And another thing people don't realize is that when you get that raise, you've never seen that raise. You never got that money. Take that raise or that percentage and put it in a different account or put it in your, if shit happens.
You've been all right without that raise.
You've been all right without that raise.
If you've been all right.
Exactly. If you need it, then great. You know what I'm saying? But there's a guy I follow on Instagram. His name is Chris Johnson. And I just started following him because one thing he said, and I was like, yo, I appreciate that, brother, is that he takes about... a lot of people don't realize you're supposed to take about 30% to 40% of your paycheck and put it away or invest it. The rest is what your accounts, your bills, whatever. So that's what I do. I take about maybe 40 to 45% of my check and I put it savings because I don't know what I want to invest in yet. And that's what I'm going to talk to you soon about. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
We'll talk. But people don't realize that that's a good way to get financial freedom and save and don't worry about that money. And then when you check that account, it's like, oh shit, I got this much money. Now I can invest it or, take some money out to pay some bills that I'm backed up on or whatever the case is. But one of the things is set up budget, set up your accounts, 30, 40%, whatever you can do, put it away, and the rest you play with, and you do what you got to do. So I don't know how you go about it, or what do you teach? Do you teach, take that money, like take a certain, like if you're getting a regular paycheck, is that how you go
So
about
I mean, you got it right. That's the way to do it. So me personally, I do have more than one bank account.
Yes, me too.
And, you know, I have, like you said, I have my spending account. I have my play money account, which is like, you know, when I want to go out and splurge on whatever I want to splurge on. That's the one that I use it on. I have a savings account, which is used for particular goals.
Yep.
I have one that's for emergencies.
There you go.
And then I have one that's for like investing specifically. So, you know, I'll go ahead and once that's reached a certain amount, then I transfer that over to my different brokerage accounts, and then I play around with that money. Now, what's great also about, you know, investing is that a lot of times when you do go ahead and start investing, at that point where you're making money off of these investments, you don't really even need to touch that other money.
Paid off dividends, you get all that, keep that shit in the account.
So-
Reinvest that.
So now you're getting, you know, for example, like I was able to grow $1,000 to, no, I was able to grow $100 to 1,000, and then 1,000 to 10,000, and then that 10,000 I grew it to over 37,000 in one day, and then, you know, like literally like just off of that money, and I not only have I been able to pay myself from that money, but I've also been able to take care of other particular things that I've needed to, like student loans and things of that nature. So, you know, going ahead and at that point, you're basically using other people's money because the way that the market works is, you know, to buyers and sellers, just like within real estate. And some people will lose, and you're basically when you win, you're basically winning other people's money. So there has to be losers, there has to be winners. But what a lot of people are afraid to do is they're afraid to lose. And when you're doing things like, for example, and you know, I'm not a financial advisor. And you know, I'm not licensed, so you don't need to go ahead and take my particular advice. You do want to reach out to a particular you know, expert on these particular things regarding taxes and insurance and investing, because you know, I don't know anything. I just made $37,000 in a day.
He's just sitting here. We got him for no reason.
But you know, in order to go ahead and, you know, like invest in things in stocks, like stock might go down. But, you know, like one of the things that you might want to learn about is trend lines. So, you know, there's a great book that I actually picked up, and it's called Sticky Stock Charts.
Okay.
So you might want to write that one down. Look it up on Amazon. I think it's like $7-10. Not very expensive. But it shows you in a very simple way how you can look at lines on a chart, which is what they use in the market, and see how to, you know, where it's going and how it might
to read it pretty much.
Go up or go down. And, you know, if you want to make a long-term investment, if you notice that a company at one point was $52 and now it's at $10, well, that's basically a discount on that particular company, because at one point it was $52. It could potentially go back up to that price.
Could.
So,
like when I've been watching JCPenney, that motherfucker going down. That shit's screwed, man.
so you know, just like with cars or with anything, you always want to buy low, sell high.
Absolutely.
And if you do go ahead and buy a stock and it goes down, the only way you really lose that money is if you sell it.
Hold on to it.
So hold on to it. If you hold on to it and it goes up,
great. If it doesn't,
you know, I like to think of it, you know, a lot of people collect sneakers and things like that. So I like to think of it as like, okay, you got, some people will go and they'll buy 2 sneakers, the same sneakers, and they'll keep one in the box, nice and safe. That's what you're doing. You're just keeping those sneakers safe until one day when you need them.
Exactly. And if you need to sell them, that's income right there.
And that's income.
That's assets. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Down in the stash. You know what I mean? All right. So there was a thing, and we just literally just talked about how our community is not really well educated, and I don't know if you've seen that video of, and this dude, man, listen, exactly. So his girl, it was his birthday. I don't know if you've seen the video. It was this guy's birthday, so he's holding on his phone, he's recording his girl giving him a gift. And the gift, I think she got him 2 gifts. One was something else, and the other gift, she was like, I bought you a property. Yes, a rental property.
She bought him a property.
Yeah. Brought him a rental property. And we were
She bought him a whole house.
Right. And then this dude was
income producing house.
Income producing, exactly, which is huge. Homeboy turns around and was like, damn, for real? He's like, man, I thought you was going to buy me a Rolex or something like that.
His boys were like, yo, why you acting like that? That's just dope. My thought right there is she need to break up with him and date one of them niggas because that motherfucker's stupid.
Well, that's his boy, though. That's kind of...
Fuck that. You owe no loyalty to that nigga.
Who wants a Rolex over an income property?
Over income property, dog.
2 months, you can get that Rolex.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, like...
He's stupid.
I don't know. So you didn't see the video, but like...
I didn't see the video, but I mean, my thoughts on that are, unfortunately, he doesn't have the right mindset.
Absolutely.
So he's not at that level where, you know, he should be. His friends clearly are at a higher level, and, you know, maybe they should cut him off for a little bit.
Cut him off. Or
everybody need to cut his ass off.
That, but also it's like, and that's what we just mentioned earlier, like, you got to be careful who's around you.
Yeah.
A person like that, I do not want around me. If that's your first thought about having a Rolex rather than having something that can generate income and just being financially free, and you got it as a gift. A gift. You didn't have to do anything. That's love right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's more than love.
When I sent you that shit, when I sent it to the chat or whatever, like, that shit hurt my heart.
It did.
Because
it was a black man. It was a black woman and a black man.
Motherfucker that shit.
Wow.
And this motherfucker looked at dead in the eyes and was like, yo, I thought I was getting like a rollie or something. Like, and he just wasn't happy.
And this was like legit. This wasn't like for clout.
No, it wasn't.
He had it in a folder and was like, yeah, I bought your property. And all the dudes was like, yo.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, damn, I thought he was going to give me a Rolex or something.
Snatch that shit right out of his hand.
Nigga, you feel? I was like, you know what? I'm going to put my name on it. Forget it. You know what I'm saying? It's really sad to see.
That would have been, we would have broken
more
up.
than anything, I feel bad because he clearly doesn't know the value of that property. He sees more value in a Rolex, which, you know, a Rolex is a timepiece. You know, I wear a watch and like,
nigga,
it's not.
I mean, it looks nice, but
it's not. It's not the best thing in the world. You know, it's something that, you know, is nice to have. But if it's not gonna bring you anything or value, then really, what, you know, you going ahead and flashing it a few times, it might get you robbed.
Yeah.
So if anything, especially like where he might be coming from.
Exactly.
Well, I've been talking to my mom one point because I was doing so much research and shit. And that was when I was like claiming my brothers. We was getting back so much money from claiming my brothers and stuff. And especially because I was like the breadwinner at the time. And I'm like, and also, you know what I mean, and a shorty of mine, it was just more like, yo, we should get like a 3-family house. You know what I'm saying? Use the first income buyers. You know what I'm saying? And then when we want to buy like a 1-family house, you use yours. You know what I'm saying?
That first time
you know what I'm saying? At least so we can get these properties generating income. They're like, no, I just want a 1-family house. And I just want this. And you know what I mean? Like, dog, you're not understanding the value of
building a village.
of just building in general.
Yeah.
And you can't see past what you want,
Right.
and instead of what you need.
Exactly. And what's crazy, and I'm gonna contest to that too, is when I was about to buy a house at like 21 years old, I didn't buy it then, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. I mean, I was looking for an income property to an extent. I just didn't. So my real estate agent at the time, you know, we were going, great guy, and he was really trying to show me like, no, you need, like, at this age, bro, like, fuck all that. You need a 3-family. You need and unfortunately, where you're gonna get the money is in the low income areas. You know what I mean? Because those are the people that's gonna pay rent and all that. But I just didn't want to live in that area and stuff like that. But he's like, you need to look past that. You need to take this risk right now.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it, so I bought a Ducati. But you know what? At the time, I was like, you know what? I was so mad because there's this house that I really wanted, and you know, now it's like worth mad money. I was like, I should have fucking bought it. But I also blame it on timing. You know what I'm saying? And age and maturity and just
you weren't there
knowing.
yet.
I wasn't there yet. And now that's what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? But you know what though? I'll take that L, and I'm like, you know, but now I got the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy that now because now I understand what he was trying to preach.
You learned. You dropped the L and earned.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and that's what it is. And I feel like with your mother at the time, you also got to understand her at her age, she didn't want to deal with that stress. She just wanted to have her home, her family, and just be comfortable and do all that. Where you're at a level, you was like
heartbreaking. It was like, yo, like I'm trying to lead our family and into a direction of like generational wealth.
Generational wealth.
You know what I'm saying? And it seemed like, and even now when I talk to people like in my family, it's a lot of, yeah, let's do it.
And they don't.
And there's no follow.
There's no action. We
you know
do it all the time.
And with me, I'm not gonna lie, I don't follow through either because I get discouraged that
You don't want to do it alone, too.
I don't want to do it. Yeah, a lot of times you don't want to do it alone because also
Sometimes
I'm petty as fuck because once I do it alone, I don't want you here after that. Like I just don't. You didn't
Where were
believe
you
in the
with-
dream
you were-
before.
You wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
Yeah, I'm saying you wasn't taking
And I
shots
really,
in the
and I
trenches.
had a whole bunch of homies like that. Like, dog, like I'm trying to explain to you, like, yo, we need to do this, we need to do that, and you don't even want to take that chance. You're so comfortable, stuck where you're at, or blaming your situation that you can't even see past certain shit. And it's just heartbreaking because you want so much more for the people around you, and you want them to win with you.
But you know what's crazy though, and I'm so with you on that. But I have learned and realized that sometimes you have to be that one. You have to be that black sheep.
You have to lead the leader.
You have to be the leader. So it's in a sense, it's like, all right, you don't see it right now. All right, cool. But as soon as you buy that property and start saying, oh shit, I should have. It's not too late, bro. Let's work on another one. Let's buy another property. I mean, I got mine, but let's get you there, and I'll help you, and then we can both get this money. You know, sometimes you have to be that one. Yeah. All right, you gotta do it yourself sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be a pioneer.
You gotta be the pioneer. Exactly.
I mean, the thing about the housing is, you know, going ahead and when you buy a house, a lot of people will buy a house and they want their dream home. They want to go ahead and live there forever. But the reality is things change, needs, wants, desires, they all change. You know, you might be a completely different person next year than you are now. Exactly. And going ahead and taking that, you know, that financial responsibility of going ahead and starting in a particular way, of owning a multifamily house, going ahead and learning the trade of being a landowner, and you know, being a landlord more than anything, having to, you know, like I learned how to interview people for, you know, because I was living in the property too, you know, and I went ahead and, you know, I was able to learn, okay, you know, this particular person, I don't want them to live with me because, you know, they're not the type of person that I want around. Right. And those type of things, you learn them so that it makes it easier for you to manage that particular property. You have to think of it as like a business. Yeah. And once you have that set up, then, you know, next thing you know, you have a 4-family, and then you go and you do a FHA, and then a 3-family, and then you have a 2-family, and then a 1-family, and then that 1 family can be your home that you dreamt of and always have wanted.
And that was the issue at when I said I was 21, because I was like, I'm gonna live there too, so I want to have a place that I desire, that I want. And of course, you want your likes and stuff into the home as well. But what I didn't see is that, and what you just said, a lot of people don't realize, usually the first home you buy, you're probably not gonna stay there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So always buy where that has potential, like when you to sell. You know what I'm saying? And you make something out of it. Don't buy something that you like just because you like. Like a lot of people will buy a house with 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. All right, that's great, but a lot of houses not going to sell because that house is not going to sell because it's 1 bedroom. There's a lot of families out here. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at the potential first.
People have kids, motherfucker.
Yeah. So buy a 2 bedroom and up, and you're more likely to sell that and make something out of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But there was another thing I wanted to talk about was. Yeah. There was a quote, right? So are you single, in a relationship? I don't know.
Right now, I am in a relationship. Shout I would consider, yeah. So
shout out to the queen. You know what I'm saying? But there was something that came up, and there was a meme. Not really a meme, but it was on the Shade Room. But it was pretty much saying there was a lady who left her man because he makes twice as much as her, and it was saying that he wanted her to pay half of the bills. And a lot of people, there was a lot of mixed in that. And it was saying that, you know, as if somebody that makes twice as much, they shouldn't have to worry about their queen paying half of the rent, blah, 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 and all of that. And some people were like, no, you guys are in it together, whether he makes half or not, that money could still be used to generate or in the savings for you both. You guys are not looking at it in a different. So my question to you is, if you are a man who's making twice as much, or a woman, whoever's listening, making twice as much as their spouse, should they still pay half, or do you look at it as like, no, I'm the provider, keep your money and do what you want with it, and I'll take care of the bills, and then you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you look at that?
I mean, that's very subjective. I think that's something that needs to be discussed with whoever you decide to have that type of relationship with. You know, if you go ahead and, you know, you are a breadwinner and you want to go ahead and spend on your significant other, then by all means, as long as you're capable of doing so without jeopardizing your financials, then you're all set. Now, if that's not something that is feasible or something that you don't want to do, you know, not a lot of people are, you know, givers. You know, we live in a place where a lot of people want.
Right.
So I mean, really, it's up to you, and it's up to your significant other to decide upon. You know, hey, do you want to, you know, I pay this one time and you pay this the next time? Do you want to go ahead and split everything? Do you want to go ahead and, you know, establish it earlier, so that way there's no confusion going on later on. Like, hey, like, why is it that every time we go out to eat, I'm always paying the tab? Like, even if you have the money for it,
I really feel
you
like
might not appreciate that. You might feel used. You might feel whatever it is.
I really feel like your money's your money and my money's my money, but everything should go into a pot to make sure that we are all together making this work.
Okay.
I think that it's ridiculous for me to think that you can pay half of the bills on your salary if I'm making twice as much money. So of course I'm gonna want to take a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Just to even it out. I don't want you to be broke as fuck.
Right.
Like that's not what you still have your individual things. Like you probably pay. Like I think that we should always work out what our bills are combined. Put into a pot to pay that every month.
So you do agree with her paying about half?
Like no. I'm not saying that she has to pay half. Okay. I'm just saying there needs to be a pot where we need to throw money into this
for the things that do need to be.
Shit gets paid. You know what I'm saying? Now, like you said, divide things up the way it should you deem fair. You know what I'm saying? That's between y'all two.
Okay, so what do you say to the woman that as a man, I want to pay most of the bills, regardless of like, you know what I'm saying? I just want to. Because it makes me feel good as a man. Okay.
All providers.
I don't want to jeopardize me being broke. Like one thing I learned from Kyle actually, he was like, "Yo, I pay all the bills, right? And then I live off the credit card. And then with my wife's check, we pay off the credit card. You know what I mean? So my whatever I get from work, I pay off on the bills. Then I live off the credit card with my wife's check. You know what I'm saying? That seemed like it worked. Like, you know what I mean? You're building credit. You know what I mean? Your bills are getting paid. You know what I mean? But that comes with trust. He seems like she's not a forever thing. You know what I'm saying? So eventually he's going to skate and he wants to be able to have his money on the side to where he's set up to where if he needs to dip, he needs to dip. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Both of y'all should have a rainy day fund just in case shit don't go right. Because you don't ever want to be in a situation where you're left without nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at some point, you guys got to trust each other if you're trying to build. You got to understand, like, even if she makes more of the money or you make more of the money, that it's not just your money anymore. It's both of y'all money. And, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, sometimes with women, it's not. They have their money and they have your money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
and not to cut you off, but this is what I got from this, right? And my take on it is like women are always fighting for we want equal, we want all of this. And I'm gonna keep you equal. I feel like personally, even if I'm making 3 times, 5 times as much, you know, I am the provider. I agree with you. I don't mind paying most of them because I make more.
You're paying some shit though.
But you're paying something. Yeah, I feel like you have. What are you putting in this marriage or this girl? And it's crazy that we're talking about it now because I literally was, you know, at my mom's house and I had all my sisters there and we were all talking and one of the things that my mom said and I was just like, you know what I mean? Like so I mean, not to put it out there, my sister going through a divorce, blah blah blah, but it is what it is. And one of the things my mom was like, well, you open your legs every night, so you shouldn't have. But like, and the thing is like, yo, like you're well, let me just finish. So it was like, you know, you open you have it's a form of payment. Like to me, it was like, mom, you're making it seem like it's a form of payment in a sense. Like no, like that just because you're having sex with me I should have to pay all the bills. It's you know what I'm saying? I don't care if you make less, you should have to put something in. It's not always about sex.
Though, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna let me cut you off. I've always told my sister, and I even talked to women about this, like, yo, don't fuck no nigga that ain't doing shit for you. Right. I have said this on this podcast, and that doesn't have to be monetary things. Yeah, right. No, if he's not willing, if you about to move and he's not willing to lift some shit for you, you know what I'm saying, and you fucking this motherfucker, leave this motherfucker. Yeah. Like, you shouldn't be laying down with this man. Right. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, not all men need to give you monetary things. You know what I'm saying? No. But they have to give you something. You know what I mean? And with women too. don't be laying down with no female that ain't really doing shit for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If they ain't giving you that support that you need,
Love,
whatever
yeah.
you need from them,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You just don't. It's a give and take, right? I mean, and pussy's not enough for you to live in my house for free.
That's facts.
Like, simple as that.
Come on, man.
You
Like,
know what I'm saying? Like,
you're working.
times is hard as fuck.
I work.
What I
Doesn't matter if I make more.
what I love to be the sole,
Of
like,
course,
you
you
know what I
want to
mean?
be provided.
But that comes with a lot of different shit. Like, on some real shit, if I'm making more, or if I'm paying all the bills, I don't want to hear shit out your mouth about certain shit. But what comes what equal things is, if you're working, I'm working, we're both equal partners in this shit.
Yeah, whether I make more money or not. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind being the provider, but you're not going to take your money that you worked for and that I'm going to pay. I work just as hard as you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sit
Or
there.
harder.
Or harder. You know what I'm saying? And then she's going to be out there buying dresses and getting her nails done. I know for the most part it's for him too, but it's like, come on. Like, if we're in this together, I mean, I think every marriage or every relationship should have one pool of money. That's what you guys put together to pay the bills and do what you got to do. And then you also have your own separate accounts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think the biggest thing
But-
about that, bro, is that it's better when there's two incomes.
Yeah.
But now,
and
but
you
she's
feel better about yourself when you go out to get it. Right. Like, why do you want to? Like, why do you want to be a woman that just sits back and gets
like a trophy wife?
Yeah, you are like, dog. That's not the right way to be.
But it is different if she's a stay-at-home mom with the kids.
No, that's a job in itself. Yes,
that's a job within itself. That's an agreement.
And that's an agreement, and we both have an agreement that it's better for us, for our kids to be with somebody that love and takes care of them and that came from them. And that's an agreement. That's a job in itself. You are basically not
You're
being
putting
paid, but you are making sure my kids are good.
Yeah.
The house is clean. Now if I'm at work all day and I get home and
there's no food,
these kids ain't cooked, these kids ain't fed.
Right. But if you're working too, you know what I'm saying? Then I understand. But now
I need to pick up my slack.
Exactly. And
help out.
Exactly. I think there's an understanding. But like I was saying with this is that from reading this, it just really felt like she wasn't comfortable that she, even though she works, just, you know,
that he was making more and that he wasn't.
That she
was still paying,
her. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I get the whole provider role, but at the same time, ladies, y'all working too. You're with your man. Why not wanting to give in? You know what I mean? To help out, to help your family and help grow. You know what I'm saying? If he's gonna sit there and deplete his whole bank account and you sitting pretty with 20, 30K in the bank and he's paying all the bills, to me that doesn't make any sense. Now, if you skate or he skates, he's left with nothing. Even if he makes twice as much. That other half that he's making is going towards bills, and you're still sitting pretty more than him. You know what I mean? But I mean, that's my take on it. You know what I mean? I don't mind being a provider, especially if we have kids and you want to stay at home. But I just feel like it was very unfair within that statement of her being upset that he still wants her to pay half. And I'm like, well, I see no problem in that.
I get her problem, I guess. But if you guys haven't established that, like, yo, like, then how can you get mad at him?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Like, no, maybe he's not for you. Simple as that.
Simple.
Exactly. Right. So I mean, that's where I go back to that thing where it's something that has to be discussed, especially if it's somebody that you consider, that is somebody that you're gonna establish a full time life with. Now, I mean, if it's something temporary, then. I mean, I know a lot of people who have gone ahead and done that. Yeah. They took care of, females or males, if you want to say it, and, sugar mamas, sugar daddies, whatever you want to call them.
And I need a sugar mama.
Please, I'm drowning.
Yeah.
I need you.
But
all I need is a PlayStation and a place to stay. I'll be good.
But then what does that mean you have to do? Because like the thing is
I'm
like
nasty.
You hear that? Like he is
all the purpose we just talked about.
Nah. But it's true. I mean, that might be what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So like you said earlier, it's a give and take type of thing. And you have to discuss these sort of things because really, when you decide to be with somebody, you are going into an agreement. Regardless,
marriage is an agreement. I mean, that's how much I look at it. I don't really want to get married because I just feel like it's just a contract. But the contract says, bitch, we going to have on everything.
Read the contract, bitch.
Your vows.
It says you are to suck my dick 3 to 4 times out of the week.
From the back.
From the back. Okay.
But on this. 21 Savage also had a quote a couple of months ago, and he really said, just to get your point.
Yeah.
On this, he was like, "A rich man can," and I quote, "A rich man can meet a broke woman and change her life, but a rich woman won't even look a broke man's way.
Ooh.
Women don't build; they move in." What's your take on that?
I mean, again, this is something that doesn't apply to all of them, and it's unfortunate that we don't have a woman here to give her take on it.
That's what I'm saying.
But nonetheless, how I feel about it is that yes, for the most part, that's true.
Yeah.
Because just of societal norms, so women are trained to find a good husband, find somebody who can provide for them, and men are trained to be those providers for the most part. So, somebody being successful, they're going to be able to attract a lot of women who need that success to survive. Now, a woman who is already successful, she's not going to, for the most part, want to work with somebody who is beneath them. You want to climb up. You don't want to. You don't want to go backwards. And going ahead and being with somebody who is, I guess you could say, beneath you, does require a lot of time and effort. Because especially if you want to build them up. Because me, for instance, like I'm the type of person who I like helping people. Right. So that's not something that would ever be an issue to me. Now, mind you, if I ever did get with somebody who's as successful or even more successful as me, then in my sense, even if she is making more money than me, if I was in that relationship, I'm somehow providing more value somehow. Somehow.
You would try to find that way, that more value to do something.
So in that sense, I mean, I guess if women can sometimes find more value than just monetary. Like she might feel really safe with a man. She might feel like she won't ever get disrespected with a particular man, and that man might not be as rich as her last man who used to beat her, but this man will go ahead and provide for her. He's gonna care for the kids. He's gonna do this, that, and the third, and he might not make as much money as her, but she's somebody that.
But
you'll be surprised. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You'll be surprised at just being a woman's piece, how far you can get. You know what I mean?
Just hold it down.
Yeah, just being somebody that's being in a safe space. Yeah. You'll be surprised that, you know what I mean? Like, even in the quote-unquote level that you're at versus her or she's at, you know what I mean? You'll be surprised at that. It's funny because I was listening to the podcast, and it was more joking, but if you really look at it, women billionaires, there's not a lot of women billionaires that got to be billionaires through their own hard work. And yet, once they get there, they keep it afloat. But it's usually through divorce or inheritance,
which is crazy.
Which is weird to me that women just are not going out there and just getting it. When it's thrust upon them, they do rise to the occasion. Right. But most times it's just through inheritance or it's through divorce.
Look at the richest woman right now is Jeff
Bezos' wife. Right?
Yeah, divorce.
She got
which don't get me wrong, she helped him start the company.
Oh, she deserves that.
You know what I'm saying? And she deserved what she got.
Absolutely.
And nobody will take that away from her. But she did
gain that from a divorce.
Yes.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, my biggest thing on that is I have no problem with it. It's just sometimes, there's that divide, right? And we've talked about it previously on the podcast where, like, us men, sometimes we don't get in relationships because of the simple fact that we don't feel like we're there yet. We want to be like, nah, I'm not worthy yet. I can't be in the same space.
That was me for a long time. Yeah.
Right. She can't, you know what I mean? So we have to change our mindset sometimes and be like, yo, even if I don't make as much, what can I add?
What can I add as value?
What's the value? Just as much as that monetary.
I mean, you think about it too, though. A lot of these women will go ahead and get with people that probably they shouldn't.
Yeah, because they have.
Like I had seen it, and not even because they might have money. Yeah. Some of them get with them because they think they might be madly in love, and they actually get with the wrong person. And it's something that is a challenge for all of us, really. Knowing who is a benefit as opposed to a disadvantage in life, and going ahead and let's say for example like these young ladies going ahead and getting with these drug dealers, for instance, that, they might be making money for a while, but then what happens once that income stream is gone? Do you stay with them? Do you stick ride or die?
Right. I also feel like those women just are looking for a thrill. You know what I mean? You get to a point where like your life is like kind of boring. Like you live in that corporate, and they're like, that drug dealer boyfriend's gonna give me some type of excitement.
Yeah, it's possible.
And he shows me that he loves me because that motherfucker needs you. You know what I'm saying? Just
to buy that house.
To buy that house. You know what I'm saying? But as we wrap this up, I really wanted to just really ask that one question again, because this is the basis of everything. Yeah. Before people go spend that tax money, what's one advice? I mean, I know you kind of said it, but just to really
more than anything, I say invest in yourself. Go ahead and get education, stocks, whatever it is. Personal increasement, like whether it be you going ahead and you're having troubles with your mind, go meditate, go do yoga, go do something that helps you. There's a reason why a lot of successful people meditate and why they go ahead and they
more problems, man.
And they get their minds right, because it's important to get your mind right before. If you don't have your mind right, you can't have anything else in order. Right.
Take care of your home base first.
And one thing that a lot of people say is like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you go ahead and you do your job a particular way, you're gonna do a lot of things in that particular way. Like if you leave everything half-assed, people are gonna notice that you leave everything half-assed, and they're not gonna want to work with you. So you need to work on it and bettering yourself. I always say that you need to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. I'm always I'm always trying to build up, and R.I.P. to my boy the Black Mamba, but he's out here, he's elevated. So
respect. But work on yourself.
Work on yourself. I did also want to leave everybody with this. My 29th birthday is in 2 days now.
I mean, I don't want to be ratchet, but what are we doing?
I mean, it's on a Tuesday.
Like, I'm invested.
It's on a Tuesday. We could go to Foxwoods, whatever. I mean, I heard Tuesdays on Foxwoods are popping.
Dope. Right.
But besides that, I did want to. I'm giving away 29 books. My new I Give You Credit book. So I'm giving 29 books to 29 people. And what I also want to do is I want to go ahead and also provide one person with my generational wealth engine course that I'm going to be starting up pretty soon. It's a $3,000 course, but it's going to basically, help people get to where they need to be. And I really want to work with this one person to get them where they want to be, and I want them to, be really successful. So that's one thing. And in order to get the 29 books, you do have to just share with me your credit score, your current credit score, and, a reason why you think, you need this particular because I want to give it to people who need it. I don't want to just give it to people.
And also going to work for it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you could just give it to anybody, and they're not going to do anything with it. But if somebody's going to spend the time, like, okay, this is my credit, and this is why I feel like it. But do some extra, give that little extra effort, like, okay, I know that person is really going to do it. Because some people, thank you, and walk away.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But, you're going to give that book to somebody who's going to work for it and who earns that book, right? So I respect that.
I mean, that's how I feel, man. Like, I'm at the point where I can work with whoever I want to work with. And the people that I want to work with are the people that not only take action, but the people that really have a reason to get out of whatever particular situation they're in, and that makes me feel good. Helping people and helping them succeed and get to different levels. Like one of my friends who's in my close friends group, just from learning the things that I did, went ahead and put in their own trade, and they made $47,000 off of Domino's Pizza.
Wow.
And he called me and he's FaceTimed me, my boy Tyler. Shout out to my boy Tyler. And he was, ecstatic. He was like, dude, like, you just helped me, like, not only just pay off my car, but like I have more money to like put in. And he's like, this was my salary. And I was like, you know what, man, like that's the type of thing I want to do for people. So
I like that, man. So where can people find you? Can they get access to this?
Yeah, so
29 book.
Yeah, so as far as finding me, you can find me on Instagram at Mr. _then THEN, like now, then, later, if not now, then when, type of thing. And you can also go ahead and go on my website. It's mrthen.biz. You can Google me, Carlos Ariel Then. You'll find everything on me as far as my books and things like that.
We'll drop all the links. Just send it to us. We'll drop it on all the episode links and everything like that. And one thing before we go, because I've been hearing this a lot, and I feel like it's a sign. It's been just really catering to me. And I literally said it earlier. It's like one of my biggest problems is that I'm not much of a risk taker, right? So one of the things that you've been saying, I keep hearing you say, and one of the things I keep hearing from school is take action. So I'm gonna leave this here as well, like being a person that really kind of thinks a lot. I'm an overthinker. You know, I don't know if it's an Aries thing or just how I am. You know what I mean? But I'm an overthinker. And sometimes I'll think too much and talk myself out of things. Yeah. So one of the things that I keep hearing is take action. So for people that, if you have an idea, don't be scared. Just do it. You're going to lose, regardless. I'm not saying you're going to lose in that specific idea that you're having, but don't be afraid to lose, and don't be afraid to take risk. Take action. That's what I'm keep hearing, and I think that's what I'm going to have to really push forth, because I'm hearing a lot of people saying, because all great entrepreneurs, at the end of the day, whether you have a bad idea, a great idea, they took action, and that's what made them successful. You know what I'm saying? So with that tax money, take action. Either save it, invest it. If you're not ready to invest, definitely save it, and take action and just be smart about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
And if you don't know something, don't be afraid to ask.
Yes, don't be scared to get that financial.
Thing is always ask.
Like me, if I don't know something, I ask.
Yeah.
Annoyingly ask.
Find an expert, and even if you got to pay for it. You know, it's better. It's better. It's better. Like me, I was just in LA not too long ago, and I was with a billionaire. His name's Ryan Blair.
Saw that picture.
And Ryan Blair is a genius. This guy's beyond man.
I follow Grant Cardone. I mean, come on, Mark Cuban. These
guys So one of the things, it's funny. I think Ryan Blair actually he wanted to meet Mark Cuban. Or one of these guys, I forgot who it was exactly. Tony Robinson. Gotcha. And he actually dated his ex-girlfriend just to get close to this guy.
Yeah. See, you gotta do shit like that. Take that fucking risk. You know what I'm saying?
And he goes up to the guy and he's like, "Yeah, I dated your ex-girlfriend," and he kind of like looked at him a little strange. But now
got your attention.
He got his attention, and he's in his circle. It's things like that. You know, things that can put you in particular areas of influence that can elevate you to higher levels and help you get to where you want to be at faster rates.
Right. And put your ego aside too. Yeah. About, don't be afraid to network and just In
the words of Black, I don't want to pay for what I don't know. So on some real shit, go out there, learn shit, ask questions, get the knowledge or whatever. Right. And like you said, if you have to pay for it, that's because you didn't know it. Learn that information.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask. Even like some people will give you free information, and usually they charge for it. Yeah. I've done that plenty of times. Right. So don't be afraid to ask. If somebody really wants to charge you for it, they'll tell you.
Right. And that's what you said earlier about.
And they should sometimes, right? Because when you pay for it, you appreciate the information more.
That's true.
And not only that, even the greatest billionaires and everything like that, they don't know everything, but they pay to have somebody who's an expert at something, like you just mentioned before.
Yeah, Henry Ford. Yeah.
So, Carlos Den, appreciate you for coming out.
You already know, my brother.
It's been amazing.
You're gonna leave me hanging on here.
Oh, my bad. I didn't see your hand. I didn't see your hand.
Stupid on the camera.
Hell no.
God damn.
Nah. Your hand was here. I was looking that way. It's like, you should have put it like in my face, bro. No pun intended.
Hey, we gonna turn up for his birthday, maybe take another shot or something. Hey. Carl, it's been a pleasure having Den. Hopefully you guys learn something from this. I know we get ratchet as fuck on every episode, but we're doing something different for you guys.
We wanted you guys to learn some shit. Yes. That's why we didn't pour all that ratchet shit in here today.
Yeah, not today. It was just to hone in on business, investing, savings, budgeting.
We can do both.
Yes. Hey.
Find you a podcast that can do both.
Hey, this is it. This is it. I love you guys.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, send everybody out.
Solid. Liddy two titty.
Sweet.